Hey guys, thank you for coming back to my channel, Dog Talk. So I missed last week. Sometimes the world throws stuff at you and you just need a little bit of a break. So today I will start back on the YouTube channel, and next week I will start back on the podcast because I did not do it yesterday. Honestly, I lost track of the days when it came to this week, so I wanted to start the podcast this week again and completely forgot that yesterday was Saturday. So today with the YouTube. So I'm gonna kind of spice things up. I today am just gonna talk about poodles, like the breed itself, because I get a lot of people inquiring about poodles. I breed them, shocker. So I get a lot of, I guess, false information from people where they think poodles are one way when in fact they are not, or I guess just the misconception out there on poodles. And so I would like to, kind of go over stuff like that. And then I'm going to continue, because I work with a lot of dog breeds. I'm going to kind of continue that and debunk some of the stuff that's out there on Google, just based on what I have dealt with. And I have dealt with, like, for example, if I wanted to talk about Chihuahuas, I have worked with so many different Chihuahuas from so many different breeders, and I have seen how there's a difference between show breeders and just because you go through a show breeder doesn't mean your dog has to be in the dog show. Just more high quality breeders versus just somebody who you found and they're in the Walmart parking lot and they've got the sign or their hatch open, blah blah blah. I'm going to talk about the true breeders that I have dealt with who breed for that specific quality, who try to better the breed. So you may have gotten, for example, a lot of people tell me poodles are hyper. No, they're not. They're not supposed to be hyper. In the breed standard, it does say very active. That does not mean hyper. That means if you want to go outside and do something, then they're up for it too. My poodles, when I'm inside and I've got the TV on, they're just all asleep on the floor. They're so lazy at points where I'm sweeping and they don't move. You have to sweep around them, and then when they get up, you can see like little dirt because I hadn't gotten it. And so, just the fact that people assume all poodles are hyper. Now, some poodles are. That's why you got to find the proper breeders. I deal with a lot of hyper poodles from people, but they're just buying pets that they find. So you also want to look for, in any breed, if you don't want a hyper dog, look for a breeder who breeds for temperament. There's a Boston Terrier who I just love her Bostons. They are very calm, they are very sweet, and then you go to a dog show and everyone else's Bostons acts like a butt, and they're just... So I don't know if I'm just getting lucky working with this lady. That's something I wouldn't be able to tell you for sure, but hers are great. So if you want a nice, calm, beautiful Boston, that would be the lady I would send people to, which I do on the regular. So you just kind of have to look. Now, things like Papillons, I've never really met a super chill Papillon. They might be one of the hypers, but let's go back. Those are just going to be some of the stuff we talk about later, but today we're going to talk about poodles. So on Google, and again today I wrote myself some notes so I didn't miss. On Google, there's some lies out there. So a toy poodle is anything 10 inches and under. It's not, how do I word this delicately as to not to offend, since we live in the world where everybody's offended by stuff. So there's no such thing as a teacup. I don't know if that's going to be mind-blowing to y'all or if I'm going to get some hate mail or what, but there's no such thing as a teacup. It's a toy. There's toy, miniature, standard. No teacup. If you buy the runt, which would be the teacup, I don't want to go off and say like, oh, you're going to get a lot of health problems and stuff. There can be health problems associated with it, and not even genetic. I'm talking about like hypoglycemia. That runs in small breeds. I breed the standard, so I have had toys. I have had not toy Yorkies. I've had small Yorkies with hypoglycemia. I've had toy poodles who have had hypoglycemia, so that's just a thing. But there is no such thing as a toy. I'm sorry, as a teacup. There's not. So if I ever see people and they're like, "Oh, look at my little teacup," I'm always like, "Ah, you're an idiot," because there's no such thing. You're allowed to think what you want. Anyway, so we'll debunk that. There's no such thing as a teacup. Please do not insult yourself and make yourself seem dumb by saying I have a teacup, because if you have a teacup poodle, that is a lie, and that is just something that someone said. There's no such thing. Now, someone might be just breeding below the standard, which you might want to look into why you're helping someone not better the breed but hinder it if you're buying these teacups. So we'll move on. No such thing as a teacup. A toy poodle is anything 10 inches or under. A miniature is 15 inches or under. And then the standard is 15 and up. So that's the proper limits on there. Because I see on Google the numbers are all messed up, and you can literally go onto AKC or even just type in Google the AKC breed standard, and it'll download to your phone or your computer or whatever, and you can read it on there and you can see the exact measurements. But then Google says things like 11.5 inches and 12.3 on something. I can't remember what it was, but I was just like, okay. So go to your breed standard on any breed. So I also see a lot of misconceptions on the poodle's eyes, which they should be dark, they should be oval, they shouldn't be bug eyes. They shouldn't look like they're escaping from their head. We don't need any kind of pug eyes or anything like that. Like, it's just dark oval eyes. Blue eyes, those aren't correct. Not to say for some strange reason. I mean, these are live animals. You could, I've seen breeders where both dogs are perfectly fine. All of a sudden, there's one puppy that has blue eyes for some strange reason, which I don't know their background. So don't be like, oh, it's genetic. I don't know. That's on them. I've never had that. So that's not correct if you find one with blue eyes. Here's another thing that may get some people heated. Merle poodles and phantom poodles are not real poodles. So we'll leave that there. Let's just stick to solids or parties. Those are the original parties. I don't have any issue with them. I don't breed them just because I don't want to get backlash with the AKC. So I try to just breed the solids. But yeah, phantom and Merles, they're not real poodles, but I'm sure they're very sweet. I actually have a phantom here. There's this little girl who breeds them, and she's so sweet, and her puppies are so sweet, and they're phantom, so I'm not anti-phantom, but they're just not true poodles. So let's keep going. So again, on personality, I like to breed basically little humans is what they remind me of. They'll go outside, they'll play, they're super smart, they'll learn everything you want them to learn, and then when you bring them in, they're like little couch potatoes and they sleep. We go to the lake, some love the lake, some don't. That's another thing. Not just because you own a poodle doesn't mean it's magically going to love water. I have one named Belle, and this is a funny story. So she used to love water when she was little, and then all of a sudden she was like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to push you, whatever, if you don't like it. She was my heart dog. So we go to a dog show, and it was covered, but it's still outside. So like you can just walk out. There's no doors or anything. It's just a big covered section. So it floods the night before. And when we go there, there's literally standing water inside the ring. And I'm looking at my competition, and I'm like, I got this. Like, oh, this is easy. Like, well, I forgot. I did not take into consideration that Belle does not like water. So we go in there, and she's like this the entire time going around the ring, and she hated it. And you can imagine we did not win. When I should have. Even the judge was like, yeah, if only she would move correctly, you would have this in the bag. And I'm like, oh, I know, because, yeah, no offense to who was there, but it was just some little, like, rinky-dink show, and, oh, I could have won everything there, and I didn't, because my dog hates water. So Just because you have a poodle does not mean it's going to magically love water. Sometimes they just don't. And I've noticed a lot of my adults, they want to stay clean and they don't want to go and get messy, but the little puppies do. And if you keep that up, sometimes they'll continue that. I mean, I have a ton of clients and puppy buyers, and they're like, oh, look at our dog in the water. And it's 2 or 3 years old now. That is awesome. If you can keep that up, great. I am not... when my dogs, if they do decide, hey, I'm not a fan of water, that's okay with me, because then I'm not having to blow dry them again and brush them out, because their hair can be so long. So, but pets and whatever, I mean, I'm rambling, but just because you have a poodle does not mean it's going to magically love the water. And with God, all things are possible. That's my coffee mug for today. I'm going through or I went through some crap. And I just got my lipstick all over my Jesus coffee cup. And this one is my all-time favorite. Okay, so let's move on. So poodles, they're like the #1 breed house trained. They are so smart. By the time they go home, mine at 8 weeks old, 8 to 9, they are basically potty trained. They will whimper when they want to go out. They are smart dogs. I train all kinds of poodles, even the ones that come to me that are hyper or more high strung, more active, I guess is the, again, hyper, active does not mean hyper, but I get a lot of those, and they just learn it so quickly, so quickly. They are the smartest dog, and they're very sweet, they're very loving, they're very caring. The hair, so if you just have a pet one, feel free to keep it shaved down if you want. So good, since we're on the subject of hair, good clips for puppy buyers. I like the Miami, which is you leave this, you can leave the ears, shave everything, just short, just shave it short, and then leave the puff balls like on their rosettes and stuff, or leave it on their feet, leave it on their tail. Don't put the rosettes on their butt. Just leave them. Just have that go with. I am so tired. I'm sorry, y'all. A sporting clip is good. So the sporting clip is just everything one length, and then you leave a little bit more on top. Let me think of another one. I like the German clip. That is my favorite, but that's not really. I mean, you can have it as a pet. It's a lot of work though, but I'll put up a picture. German clips are awesome. It's short ears. It's big here, and it goes down, and then their legs kind of fan out a little bit, and it's short on the body part, and then it's real short on the tail. Yeah, Google that. It's epic. That's my favorite clip in the whole wide world. I wish you could show it. Like, oh, it's so pretty, especially if you have a black poodle and it's a male. It's just striking. Except for Belle, the one I told you about who doesn't like water. I've put her in the German clip, and she just looks beautiful clip. I got another little puppy. She's in a Miami. I love the Miami clip, the one I told you about. I love that clip. So they should be proud. They shouldn't be shy or aggressive. Poodles should be very sweet. If you get a poodle, because some do go through shy phases, you want to start early off, just constantly getting them out, constantly having them meet people. They need to beat about 100 people before they are just really gold. Have them walk in and out of like Atwood's, Tractor Supply, stuff like that. You want to really ingrain in them that the world is not scary, and that's with any dog, of course. But today we're talking about poodles. That way they do not go through a scared phase. That way they don't have any kind of setbacks. Because if you are going to a show, you don't want, I had one. They came to me, and it took so many months, like months after months after months, and every time I'd go in, I'd have to be like, hey, she's going through a little bit of a scare phase, and those judges were so kind. Like, they were still placing her, even though she wasn't technically meeting the breed description, because she was shyer. Because sometimes you can have a dog who's da-da-da-da-da, and then just kind of step back, just like with children. My son, he was very, like, and then all of a sudden he saw my picture one day and just cried and would not let him come near him for months, and then all of a sudden got over it. So Even children can go through a little bit of that. So let me think of some other stuff. Brushing, I guess. Keep them brushed out. You don't have to brush them every day, but I like to brush them at least several times a week. And then pet clips, if you keep them shaved down, you don't have to do that. The intelligence ratio, I know I've talked about it, is just through the roof. They're so smart. So really grooming is the main, like, because I don't like to groom. I had a lady ask me the other day, like, are you a groomer? And I'm like, I only do the show grooms on the dog that I have to take in. I do not like to groom. I'm sorry, I don't. I like to do the dog training. I like to do the showing. I like to do the breeding so I can do the puppies and make better puppies in the world for people. And I send them out to autistic kiddos. We donate, so I do stuff like that. That's what I like. I do not like to groom. I do not like it. I will do it, obviously. I like to brush them. Like, that's like a happy place. Like, ooh, play with their hair, like band it up. I like to do stuff like that. Shaving their face and feet, I don't care. I don't like to do all the scissor work. I don't like to do this because if they move and it messes it up, then I'm having to blend it in. It's not my favorite, but I know a lot of people do like to groom. If you're a big time groomer fan, get a poodle and groom to your heart's desire, till you're so happy. So I think that's roughly like poodles. I thought for a little bit, should I go into the actual breed standard on this is what you look for? If y'all want to see that, great, I could make a video of it. I was really just kind of going on like temperament and stuff like that to let people know, hey, there's no such thing as a teacup. Just because you want an athletic dog, that doesn't necessarily mean hyper, because all my dogs are not hyper. They're super chill, but yet they will go out and do whatever. Literally anything. Like if I get out a leash, they're like, where are we going? And they don't jump on me or anything. They just run up and they wait patiently for their turn, but their tails are wagging. Of course, you want their tail carried up high. You don't want them dragging, because if you see a tail on a poodle where it's down, then that kind of means, in my mind, hey, that dog needs some work. They're shy. So you want to work with that, get them out there everywhere. Not to say they couldn't walk around with their tail down. I've seen poodles, if I've gone to someone's house and their tails are down, and then whenever it's time to go do something, their tail is up because they're excited, and they're just like, yeah, they're being lazy in the house. So that's different. But if you're out and about walking around and your dog's like, then just, make it fun for them. So, and that's with any breed, obviously. So I just kind of wanted to debunk some of those things, like the height and all that. But I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Next week I will do a completely different breed. I may do labs just because that's what my kiddo likes to breed. How can you be so anti-poodle? he had the number 2 dog in poodle, and she retired, so now she's lazy. She just chills out on the couch all day. And he's like, I really don't want to do poodles anymore. I just want to do labs, because we get a lot of lab clients. And he's like, I just want to do labs. So I haven't really told anybody, but I went and found him the top lab breeder who breeds. He won Westminster with all of his dogs. Like, they all win Westminster, and the breed in Westminster, not necessarily best in show. My neighbor's dogs. So I got him a puppy from them, and that puppy gets sent here on the end of the month, 24th, 23rd, something like that. And I'm so excited. So I'll be doing labs probably that time, so I can show you his new lab puppy. He's so cute. But hold on one second. Okay, I went to see what they were barking at. There are squirrels in the backyard. In their yard. I was like, what is that? And then all the dogs behind me, they're like, squirrels. And I was like, oh, okay. But I'm telling you, they have Great Danes, and it almost sounds like it's right there at mine, because their voice is so I don't know if that was picking up. I finally found my headphones, so I don't know if it was picking up there or not. But anyway, I am sorry. I was just so exhausted. I hadn't slept very well lately. So if anyone wants to keep me in their prayers, I would love that. We're going through some crap lately, and it's not dog related or anything. It's just regular old crap. But I hope everyone has a blessed day, blessed week, and Next week I will cover another breed. I like doing the little breed things. I've wanted to do that for a while, but since I'm a dog trainer, I was just kind of doing dog stuff. I guess whatever pops into my head in the morning when I'm making my coffee, that is what I will talk about, because that is how I roll. I do not really plan ahead all that much, as you could probably tell from my videos. But anyway, y'all stay awesome. Bye.